I make the silly faces while I'm waiting for it to go live. All right. It is December 29th, and I am pleased to say that this is my last day of work of my mortgage paying job for the year. I still have one more day to work, but that's more of a love than, yeah. So, because I work on Sundays, right? All right. It is December 29th, and our title is My Cup Runneth Over. And our author is Annie Ricks Militz, from both Riches and Honor from 1945 from Unity. In the matter of the temporal prosperity that results from worldly methods, it is considered a good principle to engage one's spending by one's income, to gauge one's spending by one's income. And that is good sense when one's prosperity is on a material basis. But the spiritual law is stated thus: with what measure you meter, it shall be measured unto you. Give, and it shall be given unto you. In other words, learn to spend, not recklessly or in a meaningless way, but with the wisdom of one who is being educated to disseminate riches like seed, thus breaking down fear and sense of limitation and cultivating faith and consciousness of all capacity in themselves. When one intends to make a gift of money in a certain amount and then lessens it, they are lessening their own receiving capacity. A homely illustration of this law is the good milk cow that keeps up her capacity to receive as long as what she gives is all taken from her. But if her milker is in a foolish moment should think to save her by not stripping her of her milk, she would give him less next time, even though he milked her dry. Practice distributing freely because of trust in your unlimited source of supply. Oh my God. So that analogy may need to be updated, because I'm in my 50s and I've milked a cow once in my entire life. I've milked a cow once when I was a small child, and they took me to my cousin's farm. But I understand the analogy. Oh my goodness. Because with the cow milking, it's a natural thing. It's like, if you don't, the cows will continue to give milk as long as they are milked. But if you stop milking them, then they will stop giving milk. They are literally designed to provide the milk as nourishment for children, their calves. And so as long as their calves need food, then they will produce the milk, which is how we do that, by milking them. So then I'm going to use the word artificially stimulating them to provide milk for calves that they don't have. So, and they take good care of them. They make sure they're properly fed. No harm comes to the cow. Ideally, we won't talk about the commercial farms, because that'll just send me on a soapbox we don't want to get into. But on small family farms, that they take good care of their cows. And so Annie, I think that's what Annie is trying to remind us. Look, you gotta spend what you've got to keep receiving more. So, but you can't do it recklessly, and you can't do it meaninglessly, meaning you need to choose how you're going to spend it, because how you spend it is going to impact what you receive. Now, I like to say spend love recklessly. Even there, maybe I'm being a little Maybe I should temper that. I believe you should spend love recklessly on people that you know and love and trust. Okay? And to some degree, if you are doing it within an organization where you are supporting people that you don't know, I'm going to think of any of the charitable work that any organization does. Again, in there, I'm of the opinion spending recklessly within guidelines is a good idea. Okay. But a charity who simply sets up in any particular neighborhood to give away free food could easily reduce their capacity because they are not serving populations that need to be served. Therefore, they are not doing the good work that they think that they set out to do. Therefore, the people who are watching them, who are going, you're not serving the populations that need your services, so we are going to spend our money wisely. We are going to give our money wisely somewhere else. And that's exactly how that works. So maybe even spending love recklessly is within guidelines. So I say spend love recklessly because I believe it comes from an infinite source. But when we are going to talk about the material results of, it's up to us to pay attention to how we are doing it. It is up to us to make wise decisions on how we are spending whatever it is that we are spending, so that we are doing it in a meaningful way that gets returns. Not necessarily to us, but to the people that we are serving. And so, if you, and that's one of the things I talk about in my helpful suggestions for life. I talk about gratitude, and I talk about random acts of kindness, and I talk about volunteer service, because science has proved that those counting your blessings, looking for the good and praise it, as Emma likes to say, science has proved that those go a long way to supporting good mood, good emotional states. You can have all of the money in the world and still not be happy. And you can have enough to meet your needs and be deliriously happy. What is the difference? When our cup, if we want our cup to runneth over, then we have to spend, and we have to spend wisely and meaningfully, so that the return that comes to us, which isn't necessarily going to be in material good, and in fact, if we want our cup to runneth over, we want to make sure that we are spending in ways that the return that comes to us is not necessarily material, but is definitely emotional and spiritual. Okay? A random act of kindness for a person that you are never going to see again. You're not gonna get any material return out of that. Most likely, you're not going to get any material return out of that. But the mental, emotional, and spiritual return that you are going to get out of that is where your cup runneth over. That is where your cup runneth over. So I got on here and made a joke about today being my last day of work for the year. It's a joke, I don't work on Saturdays. Saturdays are my day off. I do work on Sunday. But it's a joke. It's just a joke. I love my job. I love both of my jobs. And I'm going to continue them next year, because I do have material needs that I have to meet. But in both of my jobs, there is a spiritual, mental, and emotional component to those jobs. So they are meeting my physical needs, my material needs, but they are also meeting my emotional, mental, and spiritual needs, because I am of service. And so I can say that my cup runneth over. Okay? Because all of my needs are met. All of them. And that's where we want to start. That's why Maslow's ladder is so important, is because when people's physical needs are met, then they can go and meet their mental, emotional, and spiritual needs, but that's, and that's what we're talking about. Like, nobody needs to be a billionaire. I don't have a problem with billionaires. I do have a problem with billionaires. Nobody needs to be a billionaire. But if we could get everybody's baseline needs met, then everybody's cup could runneth over. And we could, because then we would have the time and energy to spend meeting our mental, emotional, and spiritual needs. And I'm going to tell you that going to church on Sunday is the bare minimum for meeting your spiritual needs and your emotional needs. That's bare minimum. Bare minimum. It is about going and being in community, but it's also about being in community outside of church. It's in the larger communities. It's like it's an interesting thing of watching, and we're not really good at it. Integrating smaller communities into larger communities, into larger communities, into larger communities, until we can finally, the world over, realize that, yeah, you know what? The whole world is one community. And it's important that we make sure that everybody, and I'm going to say everyone, but I'm also going to say every living thing's cup runneth over, that the basic needs are met. And then we can get on with the glorious pleasure of making sure that our spiritual, mental, and emotional needs are met. Okay, they may have gotten off track there. Let me get back in here. I love how she calls it temporal prosperity. That results from worldly methods. A good principle to gauge it is a good principle to gauge one's spending by one's income, and that is good sense when one's prosperity is on a material basis. And she's talking about both, or all of it. But the spiritual law is stated thus: with what measure you meter, it shall be measured unto you. Give, and it shall be given unto you. But remember, when we are dealing with spiritual law, who we gave it to is not necessarily who we're going to get it from. And that is the one lesson that if everybody could learn that one lesson, so I do something nice for you, then you do something nice for me. Yeah, that's not the way it works. I do something nice for you, you go do something nice for somebody else, and eventually it'll circle back to me. Now, frequently, if I do something nice for you, you're going to do something nice for me. That's what friends do, But it should never be with expectation. Expectation, the Buddhists are right. Expectations are the basis of suffering. Absolutely. So if we could do and I'm just going to use the word nice. Actually, I shouldn't even use the word nice, because there's a difference between nice and kind. If I do something kind for you, I do something kind for you without expectation that you are going to return it. And then we both walk away satisfied. I have done something nice and you have received something, or I've done something kind and you've received something kind. And I do it knowing that the kindness will be returned to me, but I do not expect it from you. It may come back from you. Frequently it does, but I don't expect it. Therefore, I don't suffer when it doesn't happen. And that's how that works. That is exactly how that works. You let go of expectations, a lot of expectations, that are just unnecessary, and your suffering will drop a whole lot. All right. I do like that she says, being educated to disseminate riches like seed. Okay. We got to watch where we're throwing that money. All right. When one intends to make a gift of money in a certain amount and then lessens it, they are lessening their own receiving capacity. Interesting. And then she goes on to the milk. So here is the mission today, should we choose to accept it. Practice distributing freely because of trust in your unlimited source of supply. She said freely, but she did say meaningfully. What was it? The other word. She said meaningfully. Oh, now I can't find it. Not recklessly, I don't know where the other word is. Meaningfully, though. Not recklessly or meaninglessly. So think about what you're doing wisely and... All right. That's the mission. Trust in your source and practice distribution wisely and meaningfully. All right. It will come back to you. It's not going to come back from the source that you're looking for. Which is why frequently our good hits us in the back of the head, because we're busy watching here and it's coming from here. It's like, or it catches us on, the blind side. It's like, we're expecting it to come from here and it's coming from, it's like, you do realize that Spirit has infinite ways of bringing you your good. All right. I'm going to get off that soapbox. So you got your mission. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Be it one thing, be it three things. Ideally, all things. That's the goal. I'm encouraging you to practice on yourself because you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. You're also your own best test subject. And the more you practice on yourself, the more often you will respond in this loving, kind, and compassionate way to everything. That's my goal. So, basic suggestions. Take a deep breath before you speak. Take a walk, take a nap, take a break. You know what that means. Human equivalent of turning yourself off and turning yourself back on again. Works for electronics, might work for you. Say no. And remember that no is a complete sentence. If it's something you really can't or don't want to do, don't say yes. Say no. And it is a complete sentence. You do not have to justify. So, you can explain if you choose, but you do not have to. All right. I will remind you, though, sometimes the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do is to say yes, especially to something that pushes you just a little out of your comfort zone. Because your comfort zone, the other side of your comfort zone is where what you really want is. It's not in your comfort zone. All right. My phrase, eat dessert first. Don't save the good stuff. Your life is a special occasion. So don't wait for a special occasion. Make the occasion special. All right. Enjoy. Joy is a quality of God. Therefore, joy is a quality of you. I encourage you to make room for joy. Whatever it looks like. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You still deserve joy. Please make room for it. All right. The rest of the suggestions are basic self-care. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like, unless today is your day of rest, because today is my day of rest. Hydrate. Get that early. Hydrate. Drink plenty of water. Your body works better, your brain works better, and your skin looks better when you are well hydrated. Get that early in your day bright light. It looks like it's a beautiful day out there. Cold, but beautiful. So it looks like it's going to be sunny. The sunbeam has sprouted a couple of cats. It's been great. The sunbeam on the floor. I love it. So that 5 to 10 minutes of bright light early in your day. Artificial light will work, especially if you can't get that 7 to 9 sun. The sun hits the earth at a particular angle. That's why I say 7 to 9. You can Google it. Why is 5 to 10 minutes at 7 to 9? Google it. And then you can also Google seasonal effect disorder lamp or sun lamp if you need more help than your regular light is providing. Sunlight is best, but they're getting good with the artificial light. So take the help if you need it. Okay. And then we have an Ernest Holmes quote: open the windows of your soul, allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us all the time. What does that mean? It means heaven is not a physical place. It is a state of mind. It is a state of consciousness. How do I know this? Because Jesus said the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of good is within you. Okay? That means it's not a physical place. But if it is a state of mind, state of consciousness, and we learn how to access that, any place can become heaven. Mic drop moment, walk away, right? Okay? And one of the best ways that I can say to figure that out is Emma Curtis Hopkins. Look for the good and praise it. Gratitude will absolutely get you everywhere. Try it. You might like it. All right. I am at the social media part where I remind you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I encourage you to check that out. There's lots of great content. We just did a soul session focusing on the principles of Kwanzaa, and Deloitte Parker was a delight. So if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to roll back a couple of videos on Facebook or head over to the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel. It'll be in the Soul Session playlist. So check it out. All right. Yep. Now, where am I? Oh, I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a last Friday of the year day, what you got to get done for the year day, a kind day, a compassionate day, a loving day, a meaningful day, a wise day, look how you're spending it day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. All right? Know the truth of your being. Explore the truth of your being. Peel back the layers of everything that you have been told that you are. Everything. Stereotypes, archetypes, labels, boxes you've been stuffed into, gender normatives, the information from society, culture, and religion. Peel all that away and get to know who God knows you to be. Okay? Because I can promise you one thing. The person that God knows you to be is good. Okay? God doesn't know anything else. So go back to who God knows you to be. I can promise you that that person is probably pretty cool too. All right, beloveds. I'm going to wrap up and go get my last day of work under my belt. So I'm going to remind you that Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.